아이린님, 오늘 컨디션이 너무 안 좋아가지고 어제 학교에서 날씨가 너무 강해가지고 아무래도 몸살이 났나봐요. 아이고, 지금 좀 쉬고 싶지만 지금 때를 놓쳐버리면 아무래도 오늘 루틴을 하지 않을 것 같아서 책을 영어 원서를 이런 날은 너무 무리하지 않고 간단하게 한번 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. 간단하게. 그래도 루틴을 조금이라도 쉬는 것보다 하루 몰아서 하는 것보다 조금이라도 어느 정도 하는 게 더 실력 부분에선 중요하니까 그렇게 한번 해보도록 하겠습니다. 솔직히 지금 몸이 많이 안 좋아요. 어디를 오늘은 한번 읽어볼까요? 정말 신기한 게 예전에 이 책을 읽을 때는 스캇 아담스 책을 읽을 때는 진짜 좀 획기적이었거든요. 획기적이었고 그때 진짜 행복하게 읽었던 기억도 나고 진짜 재밌었는데 그래서 이분의 책을 모두 다 사서 읽었었거든요. 근데 이유는 모르겠지만 이번에는 별로 없는 것 같아요. 뭔가 이렇게 조금 반대되는 부분도 있고 그런 것 같습니다. 한번 읽어보도록 할게요. 오케이. Dealing with experts is always tricky. Are they honest? Are they competent? How often they're right? My observation and best guess is that experts are right but 98% of the time on the easy stuff, but only right 50% of the time on everything that is unusually complicated, mysterious, or even new. Easy one is 98%, and the complicated one is 50%. Okay, if your gut feeling, intuition disagrees with the experts, take that seriously. Take the gut. Yeah, today I just read the Korean English version of book that was like is we should feel the gut and then we should believe in our gut feeling, right? So you might be experiencing some talent recognition that you can have verbalized. Okay, association programming. My co-workers and I get laughing summer intern who exposed in a wacky theory about the success being a function of neighborhood you choose to live in. His plan was to get into the best apartment he could afford in an upscale neighborhood, no matter how many roommates that might require him to have, and let some sort of the big magic do the rest. He was willing to work hard, go to school, obey the law, and take all of the normal steps to success. But he figured that could only take him so far. The real trick was his brilliant plan to live among rich people until he could become one by association. He seemed like such an inspirational guy in every other way. But this rich by association scheme was just plain stupid. Upon interrogation, I learned that he wasn't suggesting he would network and make important contacts with his well-to-do neighbors. There was no defined mechanism to explain how proximity to rich people would make him successful. It's beautiful. Proximity. Wow, beautiful. Okay, there wasn't no defined mechanism to explain how proximity to rich people will make being successful. The best he could afford, I'm sorry, the best he could offer was observation that life had patterns, and this was one of them. You become like and people around you. They seem obvious when you think about it. Give the power of peer pressure and that sort of thing. In this situation, whom you associate with make a big difference. But this is a special case and quite different from the rich-boy association hypothesis. Still, there was enough similarity between the two cases that it began to register with me as a potential pattern. Still, that's very different from the rich-boy association theory, which has no obvious mechanism. I understand that coincidences are normal just that, but they seem special because they don't get to see all of the things that didn't happen. Still, my parent detector perked up. Here are two guys who were to meet me and ended up following a similar model. Did their proximity to me matter in some way, perhaps an example of inspiration? Or would they have written books anyway? There is no way to know. I think it did. It made a success outside of my field that seemed accessible. It made it real. Human are social animals. There are probably dozens of ways we absorb energy, inspiration, skills, and character traits from those around us. Sometimes we learn by example. Sometimes the success appears more approachable and ordinary because we see normal people peers more approachable and ordinary because we see normal people achieve it. And perhaps that encourages us to pursue schemes with higher payoffs. Sometimes the people around us give us information we need, or encouragement, or contact, or even useful criticism. We can't always know the mechanism by which others change our future actions, but it's pretty clear it happens, and it's important. Years ago, I mocked an internet thinking his choice of neighbors would influence his career. If he's reading this, I'd like to offer my apology. I can easily see that where you live might influence the energy you put into your career. If you live near optimistic winners, those qualities are ensure to love of to some extent. And I advise you to consider this fact a primary tool for programming your moist RoboCell. The programming interface is the location. To change your life, part of the solution might involve spending more time with the people who represent the change you seek. For example, you will find it much easier to exercise in an environment where others are exercising. When you watch others exercise, it activates the exercise and it's a routine in your own brain. Likewise, it's often easier to work when others are working in the same room, so long as you don't bug you too much. Given our human impulse to pick up the habits and energy of others, you can use the knowledge to literally program your brain. 맞아요. That's true. The way you want. Simply find the people who most represent what you would like to become and spend as much time with them as you can without them trespassing, kidnapping, or stalking. Yes, that's true. Their good habits and good energy will love upon you. Happiness. The only reasonable goal in life is maximizing your total lifetime experience and something called happiness. That might sound selfish, but it's not. Only psychopaths and a hermit can find happiness through extreme selfishness. And normal people, normal person, needs to treat others well in order to enjoy life. For the sake of our argument, let's assume you're normalish. If you want to boost your happiness, it helps to understand what happiness is and how it works. You might think the sense of happiness is fairly obvious, but it's not. Happiness, like gardening, only seems simple. Let's just start by defining happiness and agreeing on what cases is it. My definition of happiness is that it's a feeling you get when your body chemistry produces pleasant sensation in your mind. That's true. The definition is compatible with the science of happiness, hormone rate. That's tempting to imagine happiness as a state of mind caused by whatever is happening in your life. By that way of thinking, we are largely victims of a cold world that sometimes rewards our good work and sometimes punishes us for no reason. That's a helpless worldview, and it can blind you to a simple system for being happier. Science has done a good job in recent years of demonstrating that happiness isn't as dependent on your circumstances as you might think. And you know from your own experience that some people seem to be happy no matter what is going on in their lives, while others can't find happiness no matter how many things are going right. We're all born with a limited range of happiness, and the circumstances of life can only jiggle us around within the range. The good news is that anyone who has experienced happiness probably has the capacity to spend more time at the top of his or her personal range and less time near the bottom. In my case, my baseline is on a fence between happy and unhappy, so staying near the top of the narrow range makes any difference. To do that, I treat myself like a moist robot I am, and I manipulate my body chemistry as needed. I also try to improve my situation and circumstances in whatever I can, but I see that as a 20% of solution, the big part of 80% of happiness is nothing but a chemistry experiment. And it is hugely helpful to think of it that way. You can't always quickly fix whatever is wrong in your environment, and you can't prevent negative thoughts from drifting into your head, but you can easily control your body chemistry through lifestyle, and that is a turn what causes your thoughts to turn positive while making the bumps in your past feel less important. Let's get to the mechanics of manipulating your body chemistry. Obviously, your doctor can give you a pill to change your mood. Antidepressants are a big business, and you can change your chemistry by drinking alcohol or doing recreation drugs. The problem with each of those methods is that it comes with risks and the side effects you would rather avoid. I advocate a more natural approach. For starters, the single best trick of manipulating your happiness chemistry is being able to do what you want when you want. I'm contrasting that with a more common situation in which you might be able to do all the things you want, but you can't often do them when you want. The timing of things can be more important than the intrinsic value of things. You need to control the order and the timing of things be happy. It's important to look at happiness in terms of timing because the timing is easier to control. The resources are hard to become rich enough to buy your own private island, but relatively speaking, it's easier to find find a job with flexible hours. I should write down my idea. Because I cannot focus on reading because I should do something. I have some ideas, so I should write down it for immersive reading. So okay. course, the timing things can be more important than the intrinsic value of things. You need to control the order and the timing of things to be happy. It's important to look at the happiness in terms of timing, because timing is easier to control than resources. Oh, it's hard to become rich enough to buy your own private island, but relatively speaking, it's easier to find a job with the flexible hours. 맞아요, that's true. A person with flexible schedule and average resources will be happier than the richer person who has everything except an flexible schedule. Step 1 in your search for happiness is to continually work toward having control of your schedule. Those parents may have all the stuff, they could ask for the no flexibility to enjoy what they want and when they want. By any definition, what I'm doing is work. But because I can control the timing of it on this particular day, it doesn't feel like work. I've transformed work into pleasure simply by having control over when I do it. That's true. In your personal life and your career, consider schedule flexibility when you're making any big decision. Realistically, just remember to keep your eye out for ways to maximize your schedule freedom and long term. It's just something you want to work toward. That brings me to the next important mechanism for happiness. Happiness has more to do with where you are heading than where you are. Okay, we tend to feel happy when things are moving in the right direction, and unhappy when things are trending bad. The directional nature of happiness is one reason. It's a good idea to have a sport or hobby that leaves in plenty of room to improve every year. Oh, okay. Slow and steady improvement. Yes. Slow and steady improvement. Slow and steady improvement. Okay. Slow and steady improvement, and anything makes you feel that you're on the right track. The feeling of progress stimulates your body, create the chemicals that make you feel happy. When you choose a career, consider whether it will lead to a lifetime and ever improved in performance. As a cartoonist, my drawing skills have slowly improved over most of my career, and that is a source of happiness for me. If you are lucky enough to have career options and only one of them affords a passive continual improvement, choose that one. All else being equal, the next element of happiness you need to master is imagination. I wrote about this in the context of raising your energy, which is closely related to happiness, but it bears repeating in this chapter. Pessimism is often a failure of imagination. If you can imagine the future being brighter, it lifts your energy and gooses the chemistry in your body that produces a sensation of happiness. If you can even imagine and improve the future, you won't be happy no matter how well your life is going to right now. I find it useful to dream that the future will be better than today. By far, I like to imagine a future that is spectacular and breathtaking. The daydreaming need not be accurate in terms of predicting the future. Simply imagining a better future has in your brain chemistry and it provides you with a sensation of happiness today. Being happy raises in your energy level and it makes it easier to pursue the steps toward real-world happiness. This is another case in which your imagination can influence you in the real world. 맞아요. That's true. Don't let reality control your imagination. Let your imagination be the user interface and steer your reality. The next important thing to remember about happiness is that it's not a mystery of the mind, that it's not magic. Happiness is a natural state for most people whenever they feel healthy, have a flexible schedules, and expect the future to be good. I exercised, ate my healthy reward snack, and now I am totally happy even though I am working at the writing and the twinkling the chapter. Taking care of my body always influences my happiness more than whatever task I'm involved in. That's an important point because normally when I feel unhappy, you blame your mood on the whatever environment is storming up to you. I'm here to tell you that the primary culprit in your bad mood isn't the deficit of the one of Big Five: flexible schedule, imagination, sleep, diet, and exercise. Flexible schedule, imagination, sleep, diet, and exercise. I'm explaining to a number of people my observations about how exercise, diet, and sleep influence mood. The usual reaction is blank expression followed by change of topic. No one wants to believe that a formula for happiness is as simple as daydreaming, controlling your schedule, napping, eating right, and being active every day. Based on the lifetime observation, my best estimate is that 90% of your mood is based on how your body feels, and only 20% is based on your genes and your circumstances, particularly your health. Ask yourself this question. At times, when you're exercising earlier in the day, eating well, hydrated, and had enough sleep, and a percentage of those times, have you found yourself in a good mood or bad? You don't know the answer, the question, because it's not a sort of thing anyone pays attention to. But now that I put the idea in your head, you'll automatically find yourself notice the link between a daily body maintenance and your not so mysterious and happiness. I predict you will observe that your good moods are highly correlated with exercise, diet, and sleep. Exercise is two very different benefits that are hard to untangle. The exercise itself releases natural pain relieving substances, endorphins, and that gives you a direct feeling of well-being. But exercise is also mental escape from whatever was stressing you before you raised your athletic shoes. That's why I recommend forms of exercises that occupy your mind at the same time as your muscles. Exercise also helps you to sleep better, so that's double benefit. Of the big five factors in happiness, flexible schedule, imagination, diet, exercise, and sleep, my pick for the most important is exercise. If exercise sounds like a lot of work, wait for my chapter on the easiest way to become active. If the list of 5 elements for happiness seems incomplete, that's intentional. I know you might also want a sex and a soulmate, fame, recognition, a feeling of importance, career success, and lots more. My contention is that your 5 from the pursuit of happiness will act as a magnet for other components of happiness you need. When you're fit, happy, and full of energy, people are far more likely to have sex with you, be your friend, and hire you, sometimes all in the same day. But a smarter approach is to take care of yourself first and use the success as leverage to get everything else you need. After some self-reflection, I realized that I was feeling adrift. The way I climbed out of my funk was by realizing that my newly acquired resources could help me change the world in some small but positive ways. Unhappiness that is caused by too much stress is a high-class problem. That's the sort of unhappiness people work all of their lives to get. If you find yourself there, and I hope you do, you will find your attention naturally turning outward. You will seek happiness through service to others. I promise that it will feel wonderful. People become unhappy if they have too many options in life. The problem with options is that choosing any path you live in reflect with self-doubt. You quite rationally think that one of the paths is not chosen, but have to work it out better. They can irritate too. That's why I find great comfort in routine. I never waste a brain cell and the money trying to figure out what to do when. Compare that with some people you know who spend 2 hours planning and deciding for every task that takes 1 hour to complete. I'm happier than those people. Recapping the happiness formula: eat right, exercise, get enough sleep, imagine an incredible future, work toward a flexible schedule, do things you can steadily improve at, help others. If you already don't help the ones yourself, reduce the diligence routine. If you do those 8 things, the rest of what you need to stimulate the chemistry of happiness in your brain will be a lot easier to find. In fact, the other components of happiness that you seek, such as career opportunities, love, and friends, might find the way to you if you make yourself an attractive target. Diet. Okay, and I'll describe my own experiences. They will address the 2 dimensions of an bullshit filter, science and studies, and the experience of a smart friend. But just to be on the safe side, talk to your doctor before embracing any idea in this book. Okay, look at the pattern. I saw the food and exercise connection. Okay, the traditional food of the week maintains this diet. You need to exercise and watch your diet to get some results. That's mostly true, but a more useful way to look at a connection between the food and exercise is not that there are equal patterns. A more practical view is that food is the fuel that makes an exercise possible. When you eat simple, carbs, poor lunch and you find yourself wanting a nap more than you want to spend an hour of a treadmill. If you manage your diet right, you will want to exercise more, and that will translate into doing. The starting point for the good health is diet. When you get the diet right, your energy level will increase, and you will find yourself more in mood for exercise. It can be doubly hard to change your diet and start an exercise program at the same time. At least in a usual way, people do these things because they're both subjective and require willpower. A smart approach is to use a system to remove willpower from your diet choices, as I will explain it a bit, and let you increase energy culture toward the natural processes for being more active. I'll have more to say about exercise later. The main point for both diet and exercise is that you want to reduce the amount of willpower required, and any other approach is unsustainable. The willpower you need to resist: simple carbs and such as white potatoes, white bread. Okay, it's all about the diet. Now what you eat? Healthy eating. Okay. First I just wanna read some kind of summary. Fitness. Allow me to acknowledge and hospitably use this. I'm sure you already knew that being active is a good thing. Simplification might be just what you need. Simplification the right also helps connect with important parts of exercise, diet, career, finance, and social life. If any of those things becomes too complicated, it forces you to borrow time willpower, and the resources from something else you also care about. I want to try too hard to sell you on the benefits of simplicity because you see them in your own life every day. If you're young and you don't have a crushing responsibility, you probably have everything you need to exercise regularly. But after a certain age, life transforms, and exercise becomes one of your highest priorities to the things you give up. First, when your things get busy. My challenge in this chapter is to convince you that if you get one simple thing right and being active every day, all of the other elements of happiness will come together naturally with that. The need to use up your limited supply of willpower. The last part is the key. In my experience, any form of exercise that requires willpower is unsustainable. To stay fit in the long run, you need to limit your exercise to whatever level doesn't feel like work, just as kids do. When you take a willpower out of the equation and achieve a solid baseline of that physical activity, your natural inclination will gradually increase your workout. You will do it because you want to, and because it will feel easy, and because you know it. You know it will feel good. No willpower will need it. As my dedicated runner, bike, or swimmer, how they feel on occasional off day. They don't like it. That's where you want to be. And the only way that happens is if you make a fitness in your car a daily habit. Once exercise becomes an habitual, you want to need a willpower to keep going because your body and brain will simply prepare to being a coach's mood. And your natural inclination for variety will drive you to do more stuff over time. That's probably more of the illusion than reality. Long-distance runners and people who are born with a certain genetic gift that allows them to feel good when running. No one needs willpower to do the things they enjoy. You want to flap your arms and try to fly just because you saw how well it worked for a bird. Likewise, I'd recommend adopting exercise but just because people who have a completely different bodies and brains seem to enjoy. What you need is natural and an easy way to evolve into the fitness routine that works for your specific brain and body. And you want to do it all without drawing on your willpower. The starting point for the journey is nothing more than being physically active every day regardless of the specifics. I assume most of them require you to use a degree of willpower. That's a losing strategy no matter how you dress it up and no matter how inspirational the other whip may be. In the long run, any system that depends on your willpower will fail. Or worse, some other part of your life will suffer as you focus on limited with stockpile of willpower unfitness. The approach to fitness that prefer differs from the norm both in its simplicity and it doesn't require willpower at any stage. In fact, if you follow the system of being active every day, you will feel more energetic, and that may help you avoid drawing down the limited supply of willpower. Okay, I'm so tired. Okay, I should stop here. I can meet tomorrow. Okay, consistency is the more important.